Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I am reviewing Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion Season 1 Episode 12 finally. And it's called Forgive Me Not, and I like this because and this episode is definitely better than the previous one. And not that the first one was episode 11 was bad, it was definitely good, but this one's definitely better. But so yeah, I really like this episode. Forgive Me Not, and it's really cool also, especially with the ending. I won't spoil it because until we get to it in the episode. But it's pretty cool how we kind of leave off on these kind of cliffhangers. And episode 11, if you go watch my review, I posted that like 4 days ago. Also, I want to say I'm sorry I haven't posted. Like I said before, I went out of town with my family for like a Christmas trip, and it was really awesome. It was short, but it was awesome. And you know, really cold. Definitely bundle up if you're up north, or even in the south. It's pretty cold. Please, but bundle up. Don't catch a cold or anything. Anyway, um, besides that, um, I lost my train of thought. All right. So I was out of town, and so I haven't posted it in a while. And like I said before, I need a couple of days of a mental break, especially since yesterday was Christmas Day, and spend time with the family, stuff like that. So I could have done episode 12 yesterday, but couldn't. Sorry, but I'm back. And hopefully, it, I get the rest of the show slash series because season one's only the only season, like for forever, like until like unless they bring the show back. But again, I don't want to put any bad news, but hopefully the rest of the week I can complete the show, especially since I'm going out of state. So yeah, it's not just out of town, it's out of state, to visit more family for Christmas slash New Year. Well, no, not Christmas anymore. Christmas is already passed, but for New Year's, and that should be pretty fun. I don't I don't think I've ever been out of state for New Year's before, so I guess that'd be pretty new. Or maybe I have, and it was just like a long time ago. But yeah, this probably gonna be like a first for me. So yeah, that should be exciting. So yeah, so let's see if I do episode 12 today, episode 13 on Tuesday, episode 14 on Wednesday, episode 15 on Thursday, and do episode 16 on Friday. What day am I leaving? I should have the rest of the show completed by Friday, unless some episodes I decided to do like a double episode. But that means I had to rewatch the episode like the day before, and like post, and you will see the video like come out earlier in the day because like because right now it's definitely like late at night, and I don't think I can do like two. That makes since I spend so much time like doing my review. It's like more than like 20 minutes usually. So yeah. So all the episodes should be like completed by Friday basically, and I'm gonna go on my trip for I'm not even sure how long. I'm gonna do like a community post saying that I'm back. So just I guess just wait patiently. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then when I come back, and again, I'm not sure when, but when I do come back, because I will, um, I will get back to Big City Greens, and yeah. Oh, I have an idea actually when going back. I won't like say anything because again, I want to immediately get back to this review. But I think I'm starting my spring semester for my second year of college. You know how I said like I completed my first semester. Now I'm gonna start my second semester. Because that's kind of like for like the second half of the year. or New Year, I guess it's January. Anyway, um, that means I guess immediately you're gonna see a channel update along with a monthly update for January. Basically saying that this will be the new schedule because you know how I said I'll be doing reviews on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those were 4 days of the seven days. Well, now my schedule seems to be a little bit different. I need to double check what it is because I don't want to give you guys like the wrong info when I'm gonna be able to do reviews. But it is different, so I don't think it's gonna be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays and Sundays. Obviously, it's still gonna be Saturdays, Sundays because it's the weekend. So unless I'm working on a project or something, or if I'm studying, you will get a review. Most of the time, I might take like a mental break or something. Anyway. So hopefully this like little intro wasn't too long. So yeah, so did I get everything out of the way? Oh no, actually, there is one more thing. It's actually good news I want to get away. So I talked about my trip I did earlier, the trip I'm gonna go to. I talked about the monthly update for January. I didn't talk about I'm gonna go back to college. I'm gonna be finishing up the show, hopefully this week. Sasha the series. Right, those. Right, so that was everyone to get away, but now I just remember one more thing. So I just want to make sure was there anything else other than the thing I'm gonna tell you. So yeah, okay. What I wanted to say is that I don't know why I said I don't know why I said that. Anyway, Secrets of Silver Springs is not getting canceled. Before you start worrying, if you watch my video of like, is this going to be the end for Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion? How I said that the show's getting canceled. It ended with one season. How it's a bummer and stuff. And how I mentioned that Secrets of Silver Springs it's obviously not a show like Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion. It's not like a superhero show. It's like it's a time travel show. Go watch my reviews for that. But I was always kind of wondering, this is a show that isn't exactly quote unquote popular, where it's very popular on my channel, but not everyone with Disney talks about it. I'm subscribed to like a lot of people, and they talk about like Amphibia and Miraculous Ladybug and the Owl House, Gravity Falls. Big City Greens is getting more bigger and bigger and bigger. The Ghost in Mom McGee. Like, you know what I mean? Like those 6 shows. I guess you can say 4 if you don't want to count Amphibia or Gravity Falls because those shows that ended. But I'm gonna count them anyway because people are so finding it. But whoa, what's this show? So I'm gonna count it. So yeah, so those shows people keep talking about. This show and Secrets of Silver Springs, people don't talk about a lot. So I was kind of wondering if this show is gonna get the boot. What's gonna happen with Secrets of Silver Springs? Just like with the end of season 1, because I won't spoil anything. But the end of season 1 with this, where it ended saying this person's gonna do this, and this person's gonna do that, and this person found out this, and blah 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 blah. Sorry, I'm from rambling. With Secrets of Silver Springs, with the end of season 2, again left off with the cliffhanger, just like season 1. I was like, oh, is there not gonna be season 3? But they didn't mention anything yet. We just got confirmation that there is still gonna be season 3, and it is gonna come out in 2023. I'm not sure when 2023. I don't think January, but January. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come out in January, but it's gonna come out in 2023. It showed a couple promo footage and stuff, and one was really creepy. So yeah, I'm really glad to say that it actually made my day. So I was like, especially since Miraculous Ladybug has been getting some leaks. I won't spoil anything. I won't spoil. I know I don't talk about that show a lot on this channel because I don't review it, but there's been leaks going around, which is kind of disappointing. But there's not really much we can do. Just I guess you just have to have self-restraint and not look at it. But when it's everywhere, it's everywhere. Anyway, so it's really glad. I'm really happy, and hopefully my the fans of my show, my channel that watch the show and watch my reviews of the show, Secrets of Silver Springs. Hopefully you guys are happy too. in the comments. Were you ever nervous? Were you not nervous? I was nervous, kind of, because of this show. But yeah. So really glad to see season 3. And I'm kind of wondering, will there be season 4? Is there gonna be a cliffhanger with season 3? I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't expecting a cliffhanger for season 2, but I was also kind of thinking around the end. It's like, it's gonna be season 3. Are they gonna wrap everything up? But it's gonna be season 3, which is good. It's confirmed. We're set here. It's good. Okay. So was that everything? Yeah. So that was everything. Okay. Now let's get on with the review. Okay. All right. Before we get to this guy, those are those mannequins like right there in the recycling bin? I'm saying recycling because it has a symbol on it, but it looks like a dumpster. Anyway, we get to the beginning where we have Violet's kind of scoping out like a joint. I thought she was scoping out like a robbery. And she's like, "Oh, come on, come on, come on, take the bait." But no, I was assuming she was gonna say that. I said, "Oh no, like where is she?" I was like, "Oh, she's talking about Maya," and she's at her and Violet's favorite pizza place. And Black Scorpion's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "We should be fighting crime." He's like, just a few more minutes, please." We haven't spoken in um what was it, a couple days? Was it 2 or 3 days? I forgot. I'm sorry, but it was like 2 or 3, maybe even 4. No, it was 3, right? Yeah, it was 3 days. Is that, oh, we haven't spoken in 3 days. This is our biggest fight, and she's all teenagers. Your biggest fight. I'm so glad they have like a banter back and forth, even though he was very supportive of her at the end of the last episode 11. It shows that like when it comes down to the count, they are there for each other and they will support each other. But when they're kind of moving past that, it's kind of been a while. He will go back to bantering with her, which is really good because you kind of need both. With banter, you need emotional episodes, and with emotion, you also need banter. At least for me, I think it's good. um, and he's like, oh, well, what about you with Catalina? Is it like, she pumped the brakes on your like relationship, like, she didn't come for your anniversary. He's like, no, I'm perfectly fine. Obviously, he's not fine. And he's like, oh, she just walked in. What? And he just snatched the binoculars. Cool. But he's like, okay, we'll stay 5 more minutes, then we'll leave. And I'm glad that how they both said at the same time, what could she be doing in there? I mean, obviously eating pizza, but they're kind of wondering what's going to happen in the future. And then we get back to Violet, and she is playing stickers and bunnies because Maya's favorite animal is bunny, is a bunny, and how she like is decorating, and how she's like, oh, hopefully there's enough bunnies, and obviously Luis, he's the hall monitor. He's like I should have just read his ticket for how pathetic you're acting, Violet. But this is against the school rules, okay? Like, but since you didn't know that, I'll give you a chance to take it off. And I was actually kind of like, oh, that was kind of sweet of Luis. Like, he didn't have to do that. He could have said like, oh, he does give her like a citation, but again, he could have just wrote up to her mom because she's the principal. Like, he go see your mom. Like, you're in trouble. No, he said, I'm gonna give you a citation. Like, maybe because he felt bad for her. I mean, he did call her pathetic because like, yeah, like there's a lot of stickers. I wouldn't call it pathetic, but yeah, those were a lot of stickers on Maya's locker. And Maya, I was actually kind of especially where the last episode ended, where she was really mad at her. I guess she just needed a couple days to compose herself, and she even says, "Hey Violet, I just need space. Like I appreciate what you're doing, but please take off the stickers." Like take off the bunnies. Like I think she kind of wanted to say like it's sweet, but she's like, I just need some space. Obviously, Violet's kind of worried, saying like, well, how much space do you need? A lot of space. Are we okay? And Maya kind of is also kind of new to the situation. She's never been in a situation like this before, or unless she has, but she's never talked about it. And she's like, I just need space, and Lucy's like, wow, that was really awkward. Lucy, what are you still doing here? But she just gave the citation, put it on her arm, her sleeve. I'm just gonna go. Okay, like later, and she's just kind of, oh man, we get back to where do we get back to? We get back to Cruz, and he goes into the kitchen, and obviously, the family, except for Tiago, because he has his own life. And, oh man, I forgot. Nina and the dad. I'm just gonna call him. Was it Jose? Oh, it was Jose. I remembered. Great. Jose and Nina's like, oh, what happened with the 2 month anniversary? We kept calling you. We kept calling Catalina, and she didn't answer. And he's like, oh, like, I did dinner for two. Like, I ate it just for me. Like, it was delicious, but I kind of was hoping for you to clean it and refill it. Like, what happened? She didn't show up. What do you mean what do you mean she didn't show up? It's like, it's fine. Like, I'm fine. And Tiago's like, hey, if he doesn't want to, Uncle Cruz doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't want to talk about it. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, guys. And he just kind of, they're kind of like, well, what happened? Like, even, I wonder if this is going to be like a thing. Because obviously, Nina isn't backing down. We say that, see, I knew you were going to go on too strong. The 2 month anniversary, like, isn't really a thing. And Cruz actually went like, yeah, but men doesn't like it when they don't commit. I'm like, I'm not gonna take a point off. I took a point off with episode 11 because I was kind of like how she kind of left and how he was kind of convincing Cruz to go on with the 2 month anniversary. It kind of felt like, oh, you're not really my favorite person, Jose. But now in this episode, they're both in the same room. They're kind of not really going at each other, but kind of saying that they have like a difference in perspective of like what's kind of good, not good for each other. But I was kind of not. I think maybe the first watch of that was like a long time ago when it first premiered. I was kind of agitated, but this time kind of like, oh, uh, was this gonna be a follow up thing in season 2? Man. I think this would have been like a great dynamic thing, or maybe this could have been a one-off thing. And they were never going to bring this up in season 2, but I think maybe this could have been a thing because I think they were going to probably set something up with this. Because the way they were kind of staring at each other, So I'm not going to take a point off because again, if they were going to, because I'm not sure if they were or not, because I wasn't there at the studio. But if they were going to set up season 2, this is shame, and it's not their fault. So I'm not going to take a point off. I'm not gonna take a point off. So that was actually kind of interesting. They're kind of like, So and Chris is like, I don't want to talk about it, okay? And so like, hey, where's Violet? I want to speak to her because even though again he was giving some banter like, oh, you teenagers and your teenage problems, he also wants to make sure that she's okay. I love that. Niece and uncle relationship. And it's like, oh, she ate her dinner. Why did I say dinner 2 times? She ate her dinner quickly and she just went to her room. And Chris said, oh, yeah, it's because her and Maya had a fight. That makes sense. And they're like, what? Oh, they didn't know. And Tiago's like, see, I told you, like, that dad, like, she's been acting suspicious. Words, why am I messing up my words? She's been acting suspicious. And then, and Alina said, like, wait. When did this happen? Like, wait, this happened and you knew and Violet didn't come to us? And Jose was like, we're finding out information about our daughter through you. And Tiago's like, see, this is very suspicious. And I love Tiago here. It's like, I'm going to go check on Violet. I love that. And then, even Chris is like, which one's the worst part? The fact that I knew or the fact that I knew and I didn't tell you? And she said both. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna eat a protein shake for dinner. Thanks. And Cruz and kind of giving each other a look like kind of what's going on. You know what? I'm not gonna bring it up again because because I don't want this to become like the review where I keep on thinking what could have been with season 2. But again, it's probably would have been set up. But anyway, sorry. I'm gonna try to control myself. Anyway, back to the good part. This was a really good part where Tiago knocks on the door like, "Hey, can I come in?" And she's like, "Yeah." Is that, hey, I heard what happened between you and Maya, and so yeah, we had a fight. Is so like what you doing? It's like, oh, I'm making a collage. This way I can see Maya. And I love Tiago's like, oh, hi Maya. Like, he's really sweet. You kind of go into her level, like of her, not in like imagination, but kind of like her way of dealing with things. How he's kind of like coming, like kind of saying like, hey, it's okay. Like I'm here for you, and I kind of understand what you're going through. He even says like, oh, me and Gabe, like that's his like best friend. We had a fight. We had a huge fight. We were so mad at each other for weeks. And but before we get to that part, he said like the way you and Maya are fighting about, and he said, "Oh, I missed her esports tournament because of stuff I had to do." And Tiago's like, "Is this the same stuff you're not telling me about lately?" Again, Tiago's just figuring it out, and she's like, I don't want to talk about this. I told you this is not your business, and can we please just stay on the topic? And she's gonna kind of getting like a little bit frustrated now. Tiago's gonna back off, say like, hey, oh okay, like you don't have to tell me. You're gonna tell me eventually because secrets always the chickens come home to roost. So like you're gonna tell someone eventually. Probably not gonna be me. She told Maya, but this is before all the pressure started. And it's like, and she's like, what if Maya's gonna hate me forever? And but also at the same time in the episode, I kind of say like Violet, she just says she just wants space. Oh, and I'll be like, even like she said like, what if she likes the space so much, and like she just wants to say it like that, like, and I'm like Violet, well if that's what she wants, that's what you're gonna have to do. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like you know, um like if that's where your friendship's gonna go, where you just have to kind of be at a distance for like a long time, I mean that's what it's gonna be. Like I don't know what else to tell you. But if you keep on pestering her, or like you putting bunny stickers, she's gonna end up hating you. There won't be a friendship at all. So like you take what you can get, right? And maybe things will change. Maybe she won't be your best friend anymore, but maybe she might be a friend. Like, kind of say, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Like, "Oh, hey, like, want to get a coffee?" "Oh, yeah, sure." Kind of like that, like with a friend that you haven't seen in a long time. But if that's where she wants the relationship to go, you kind of have to. I don't want to say like be okay with it, because I don't want to tell her like how to feel. But if you want to still have like a friendship with her, it's like you made a choice, and it kind of affected her, and now now you kind of paying the consequence. And this is where Tiago said like, hey, like Gabe and I had a fight, and we were so mad at each other. We didn't talk to each other for weeks, but after a while, we kind of came back together. Like it'll be fine, and I'm sure you and Maya will figure it out. Like and like she'll miss like how much like she misses hanging out with you, and but I was like, how is she supposed to know how much she loves hanging out with me if she doesn't hang out with me? And Tiago after a while is kind of like, I kind of don't know the answer, because he's a teenager too. I mean, I don't want to say you're a teenager, you're dumb, but you can only have so much life experience. And then she has the brilliant plan of, I'm gonna force Maya into a situation where um what? Like, so we can hang out, and then like, oh, just like you and Gabe. I think this is like the only complaint I had really, where she like took his story with Gabe of the fight, and saying that like, oh, you intruded with him, excuse me, and like, oh, and then everything came like hunky dory, and it's like that's not what I said. And it's like, hey, Violet, those ideas you had that are bad? And she's like, yeah, this is one of them. What are you talking about? It's a great idea. And so like, oh, we have like a history report on Lily coming up, and like she'll love Violet the history partner, not Violet the friend. And then Tiago's like, this is a bad idea. And then Maya shows up, and basically, she told Tiago that I'm just gonna convince her teacher, since Maya and I are best friends, and also the teacher would know this. She'll let us work together. And oh hey partner, and she's like, oh hey Violet. You could just tell immediately when we open the door, Maya's just uncomfortable, which I get. She asked for space, and now she's forced. But she would just, let's get the project done. But again, even the dad is kind of like, okay, kind of back off. They got some crackers. And she did. I forgot what she was doing, but she kind of was saying like, oh hey, remember this? Like, remember this, and not focus on the project. Maya's like, Violet, please, I want to focus on the project. And I wouldn't even be kind of mad with her if she kind of got even a little bit more frustrated. But she just packs up her things. Violet, it seems like you don't want to focus on the project, so I'm just gonna go. And she like, I think she kind of slammed the door, and she's like, what the heck, like, Violet. But after a while, she does realize that she's wrong. Like, again, the chickens come home to roost for her. And we get back to the is this where this scene comes in? Yeah, I think this is where this scene comes in. Okay, so obviously I talked for a long time. So we get to this guy, and he basically robbed a nursing home, and what a jerk. And obviously Cascada can phase through things, and she's like, oh, what type of jerk just wakes up in the morning and says like, hello, I'm gonna rob a nursing home. And this guy has like a, what we call this, kind of like a lightning dagger. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is, oh, you're a disappointing person. And I kind of like how the dagger, you can see the light like reflecting off the suits and like the hair. I'm really glad they gave the detail. Anyway, so so they're fighting, and Violet, Ultraviolet came in saying, oh hey, I like your new look. And he's like, oh, like, I wanted to get your advice on something. But I wanted to play this scene right here.
See, now that's gonna pull focus from my
manicure. So he got her. I definitely like Damage in Heroes. I guess she's not a hero, she's like an anti-hero, but I like seeing Damage. I like seeing like scars, and like when like a hero kind of gets beat down to show that they're not 100% invincible, basically. So I'm kind of glad she got like a little mark there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I like she made a joke like, oh, that's gonna ruin my manicure, and then boom, he gets knocked down. And then she's like, oh hey, nice kick. And it's like, oh thanks. And she even made a joke like, oh, it takes a dummy to catch one. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry about your hand. And she says like, oh, don't worry, my hand modeling career wasn't taken off anyway. And she's like, hey, I remember what I talked about earlier? I kind of got your hand jacked up. I'm sorry about that. I need some advice. The one that can understand the mask. And she's like, ah, okay. But why not top the box Scorpion? And immediately, as I saw Violet's face, I'm kind of like, Cascada. And she's like, kidding. And we're talking to like a brick wall, who's also, who is stubborn as self-righteous. So like, what's up? Oh, my best friend's mad at me. She's not speaking to me. I messed up. I had to choose fighting crime over her, and immediately when she said like, I forgot about what's important, but I'm also kind of thinking, oh, hopefully she doesn't think that saving the world and using mask for the greater good is also important. But she says like, now I'm kind of lost. Okay, she's not fully decided on that. Okay, that's good. And now I'm just like lost. It's like, oh, like oh, like, do you have you ever experienced something like that? And I just want to play this right here.
Lost. That ever happen to you? I don't really have a best friend. Keeps it simple. I don't like to let people get too close. Isn't that sad?
And yeah, that is sad. Cascada is kind of like, I don't have a best friend. I wonder if she used to have one. Maybe it's a backstory. And I don't have a best friend. I don't like people to get close. And yeah, that's what happened. When Catalina didn't show up for dinner because Cruz was kind of going off like a little bit too strong. So even she kind of mentions here without mentioning Cruz's name. So and then she's like, "Oh, isn't that sad? Like, I love my friends. Like, everyone needs somebody. And she's like, oh, okay, there's someone, like a guy, and she's like, ooh, is it like, oh, like I like how she says like, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to because it's your own personal private life, but tell me everything. Because she's a teenager, and she's like, there's nothing to tell. He was getting a little too serious. And I know what happens next after that. So I pumped the brakes. And she's like, if this guy's really worth it, maybe he's worth the chance. Don't give up. And I just want to play this right here.
Okay, whiz kid. Who came to who for advice? Sorry.
Sorry, kind of getting this clip's kind of short, and hopefully, please, no copyright, please, no. And I just love the banter they have. Like, just like, okay, whiz kids, like who's came who for advice? But this also shows that not only can kids get advice from adults, but adults can get advice from kids if it's the right advice. I'm not trying to say like adults can disagree with whatever a kid would say if it's like the wrong thing, because kids, even adults are sometimes dumb. That we're human. Like we err. So like we're not perfect. So as long as it's the right advice, and especially with her, like yeah, like you're giving up a little bit too easily, but we're also kind of worried because Catalina is Cascada and Cruz is Black Scorpion. Black Scorpion and Cascada are enemies because she does whatever she wants, and Black Scorpion ain't having that. So like Ultraviolet's kind of like, okay, I won't give up. I'll fix this somehow. And she's like, hey, do you need help with that guy? And nah. I'm kind of glad what she says. I'm just gonna put him back in the nursing home that he robbed and call the police, and then it'll give them a chance to yell at him. I like that. Like, I thought it was kind of funny. Because, yeah, get the police to yell at him. He's like, yeah, what jerk robs a nursing home? Seriously. But, anyway. We, where do we get to next? Right, okay. So, I think this is where we get to, Violet is preparing for another study session, and then, Jose's kind of like, oh, wow, Violet, you're acting really serious. Like you're, and like, she's like, yeah, I'm actually gonna focus on a history project. It'll be a way to see Maya. It won't be any fun, but at least we'll be together. Like, she actually wants to do the project. Okay, fine, we're gonna do the project. We're gonna do what she wants to do. Like, and she opens the door, and it's Luis, and oh my goodness, and he has a lot to say. Like, he's like, "Where's Maya?" I was like, "Oh, I'm glad Luis is kind of honest, where he's brutally honest, but he also tries kind of saying, I'm not really good with this kind of situation. I'm gonna try to put this as gently as I can. Maya doesn't like you. Maya doesn't want to be seen with you. Your friendship is over." And she's like, "Ooh, are those highlighters? Because he's a very organized type of person, so he kind of appreciates the highlights. And I'm like, what? And when Louise is trying to do the project, Violet's kind of like, I can't believe she's that mad at me. She doesn't want to be friends anymore. And she's like, he's complaining about like the timeline. Like, I like it. No, I'm lying. I'm so sorry. I hate it. All these ideas are not gonna work. And then Jose comes in like, oh hey, oh Luis is like, hi, I guess I can still call these friendship snacks. It's like, is this real cheddar cheese? It's not a critique. I just want to prepare my taste buds. I guess it is a little bit of a critique. And Jose kind of tries to play it off like, oh, this kid. It gave like a little like kind of punch in the arm, and he's kind of like and Violet kind of keeps on complaining. And I want to say Jose for a second. I'm sorry. Luis is like, okay, I guess we're not gonna actually get the project done. We're not gonna get any progress on this unless we address the situation. Okay, you and me are the same, Violet. It's like we are not the same. I was just kind of thinking about it. Oh, they are kind of the same. Oh my goodness. But she's like, we know what's best for people, and this is the wrong way of thinking. You know what's best for people. We only they only know what's best for them unless we tell them to, because we see the world differently, that can give them the right push. And like, he's a really good he has like the right voice to I'm trying to say this in the right way. He has like enough energy to be a good voice of reason. He just has the wrong mindset, and we don't know anything about his parents other than that they're rich. So he's kind of like a rich boy, kind of. So he only has like the right influence, kind of like Ultraviolet when he stops saying that she's a menace. We still haven't seen that come back into play. And maybe he'll start acting like a good person. Maybe. Who knows? Um, and basically she's like, oh, I have been acting like you. It's like, yeah, so if you want to get your friendship back, you need to keep on pestering her. That's such a wrong way. And then I was like, I know what to do. I need to give Maya space. And I was like, okay, finally. She figured it out. She does the exact opposite of what I would do. And she's like, exactly, Louise. I guess they bonded over different mindsets, I guess. And then we basically get to Violet basically kind of taking off the bunny stickers, and Maya's kind of seeing it. She gives like a little smile saying, Maya's like, oh, she's finally giving me space. She's finally giving me room to grow and think. It's also kind of like a relief for her. And Violet also kind of slams her, not slams, but she goes against the wall so she doesn't see Maya, kind of, so they don't actually bump into each other, and drop the stuff out so I can help you pick up your stuff. Like, no, I'm just gonna give you space. And Maya kind of sees it. She's like kind of like, okay, she's giving me space and stuff. And she even tries to text Ty on her phone, but she wants to give her space, so she gives her phone to Tiago. And even like a little later, she's like, "Give me my phone back." And she's like, "No, no, it's almost been a whole week. You're being strong. Okay. I'm proud of you, and I love you." That's really nice. And then we actually get to Catalina calling Cruz that maybe to apologize, but he doesn't answer the phone because he's roughly mad, and he's kind of working out. And we get to what was her name? Nina came with some food. Because remember they were kind of having a fight, saying like, "Oh hey, I brought you some dinner." It's like, I'm not hungry because he's really sad. He's like, I'm starving, and I'm saying that like, I like, won't you give Catalina told me that she was gonna call you, like, won't you give her a second chance? This thing, like, I don't want to deal with this. Is that I remember someone who was a big flake, and like, I gave him a second chance, like more than a second chance, and he says like I'm a big flake, and she's like, I'm a giant flake. I didn't remember. I'm a giant flake. Okay, yeah, I'm a giant flake. Like, and so would you give her a second chance? And I'm glad he said like, I'll think about it, because yeah, his heart's broken, and I'm glad that he said like, hey, thank you for the food. She even like threw out his like stuff in the fridge, and saying like, "Hey, that's my lunch." And like, no, that's my food. No, that you're eating food. That this is lukewarm noodles. And I'm glad he said like, "Hey, thank you for the food, and thank you for the second chances." And I'm glad that she says, "You're my little brother, like you're my family. I love you. Yeah, I'm glad to have you back in my life." Remember, because I was an arc in the first half of season one, and they both gave each other a smile. I love it. And then we actually get Violet saying like, hopefully, like this space is good enough for Maya. Like another day, hopefully she'll talk to me. Then we hear doorbell, and like even he said, "Hey, I can be your best friend, like if you want." And she's like, "Hey," she said, "I've known you for 13 years. So we have a good relationship." And she opens the door, and then Nina's like, "Oh, Maya," and I was like, "Maya," and I'm glad Maya actually asked, like, "Hey, is it okay if I come in?" Even though she's the one who asked for space, she's like, "Hey, can I come in?" She's like, "Yes, please, yeah, come in, please. It's totally okay. I miss you so much." She said in front of her mom, like, I was actually kind of considering my mom to be my best friend. And Nina's like, "Hey Maya, it was nice to see you again. Back at our house. Some of us missed you more than others, but we're glad to have you back." And then Maya's like, "I'm so glad I can have you as my friend again." And then Maya's like, "We never stopped being friends. I just need some time to think." Maya's acting really maturely about it, so I love it. And I need some time to think. And she gives like the crux of the whole thing, where she says, she said like, when it comes down to the count, I'll choose you over being ultraviolet. I'm like, oh, that's not the reason why the mask chose you, Violet. But again, she's still a kid. She still has room to grow. And I'm even glad Maya said, no, 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 no. I don't want you to not be a hero and fight the good fight. Like, that's important. The mask chose you for a reason. And I don't want you to choose a mask, like between me and the mask. Like, no, of course I won't do that. She basically says, like, Ultraviolet is great. I love her, but it seems all of her adventures revolve around her. And it feels like I'm kind of like a side character. And I just really wanted to be part of adventures because I thought it'd be the reason ever since like you got the mask, and it's great. But the reason why you told me, it kind of seems like I was going to be a big part of it. Because if I wasn't, what would be the reason to tell me? And it's like, oh. And and when she said, when you missed my esports tournament and you forgot to call, you didn't call back, and it was just building up to kind of like we're done, kind of, or at least temporarily. And she was like, "Oh, like I'm so sorry." It's like, "Hey, it's okay." Um, and she said, "Hey, I promise, like you'll be included more." And I love that. And they give each other a hug, and even even Violet says like, "Hey, I'll even like allow you to help me bust a crime," and Maya's like, "Wait, really?" And it, well, kind of sort of, but it's also kind of setting up that Maya will be part of something bigger, and we're saying like, "Oh yeah, two best friends are going to clean up a crime scene at our favorite pizza place," and Maya's kind of logic, okay, like that'll be a great crime scene. And before they go to the dinner place, it's still kind of early. We get to Catalina coming over to Cruz's gym, and Cruz is kind of wiping out the machines. We even have Tiago kind of setting up him sketching more. That's probably going to come up because I don't think his parents know about his like kind of career, where he wants to go, because he only told Violet. Oh, Violet and Cruz, his uncle. I'm glad like Tiago's like, oh, he made from scratch. She's like, oh, the 2 month anniversary is not really a thing. Like it was fine. Like it's, oh no, he made it from the dinner from scratch, and he threw a towel at him, and she's like, he's been angry for weeks now, and threw another towel at him. He's like, you have no more towels. And it's kind of like, I'm so sorry, can you forgive me? And and I want to give this another try because she said like I don't usually get close to people. She explains why. Like he's like, why didn't you show up? And she said I don't really get close to people. I know what happens when you get too close and it doesn't work out. And he's like, yeah, I know that feeling too. And she's like, I'm willing to give this a second chance if we do it together. And he says it could be kind of dangerous, kind of risky, like opening your heart to someone. And she's like, I'm willing to take the risk. And they kiss, and he's like, aw, that was Tiago. And they both go to the same pizza place. So we have Violet and Maya. They're sharing pizza. I love it. And they even then Cruz and Catalina walk in, and I'm glad that Violet and Cruz gave each other like a nod saying, "Hey, everything is okay." Like with like our personal lives. And it's like, yeah, I guess everything is okay. And Maya, and this is where we get to like the cliffhanger basically. And oh my goodness, when I first watched it, I'm a little bit better like now since it's been like weeks after when it officially like released. And sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. We have Maya's like, oh my goodness, Miss Rivera. Was it Rivera? Yeah, I think it was Rivera. Miss Rivera, what happened to your hand? And Violet looked at it and it's like, that's the same one. She has the flashback of that guy with the lightning dagger, like, cutter. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I was dealing with, um, what did she say? It was like a troubled kid or something. Um, and like, but it's okay. She even said the same line she said to Ultraviolet that my hand modeling career wasn't taking off anyway, and then Cruz and Catalina said like, oh hey, bye Violet, we're gonna go get a pizza. And then Maya's like, oh, they're so good, they're so cute together. He's like, hey Violet, we had Violet just like, we even hear a heart beating saying like, this is really bad. Because all of these emotions running through her head, like my guidance counselor has been, Cascada this entire time, and Cascada has been dating my Nino, which means like Godfather, who. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Um, so, but basically saying that like my uncle and my guidance counselor were dating, but also my uncle is my mentor who hates Cascada, who's an anti-hero, who Cascada is also my guidance counselor. So they're basically like sworn enemies, and she's like, what am I gonna do? She also, I don't think she says this, but she's also kind of thinking that Cascada kind of put her in a dangerous situation by kind of facing through like, what was it, like a wall or something, and how she says like, oh, I never tried facing with two people at a time before. She's like, what could have happened to me? She's like, oh, being a hero requires face, and the look on his face like, I could have died. And then especially since she hurt her leg with Cascada's advice, like, yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. But then I think at that moment she was kind of thinking maybe this is kind of too much for her. So hopefully she doesn't do that again. But yeah, Violet's face was just perfect to kind of set up for the next episode. I'm gonna tell you, it sets up for the next episode, episode 14. Wait, no, sorry, episode 13. But yeah, especially since episode 13 is actually called High Key Anxiety. I remember the name. So yeah, everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to check out my community posts and my mini reviews. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion Season 1, Episode 13, called High Key Anxiety. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for that. Okay. Bye. You know what I just forgot You know what I forgot. Words. I'm so sorry. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to give my score. Sorry. I give this a 95%. This was an A plus. Again, not perfect because again, her kind of twisting the story, saying that like you bothered Gabe, like Tiago's best friend, like so much, like it worked for you, and I kind of had the same problem with Sprig. It was like an episode in season one where he kind of twisted Anne's words. What was it? Cracking Mrs. Croker, I think it was. So I didn't like that when Sprig did that either. But so that was really my only complaint that kind of stuck with me. So yeah, 95%. This was a fantastic episode. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the episode 13. Okay. Bye.